Welcome to D Troop's open mic night. Come on in, make yourself comfortable, and please do not forget to hit that like button. Thank you and enjoy the show.
The following program is a 20 East Media Network LLC presentation. Please hit the like button and enjoy the show. Thank you.
This is The Truth, and this is 20 East Media Network LLC production. All rights reserved. This is The Truth, and this is 20 East Media Network LLC production. All rights reserved. Welcome to The Truth Open Mic. You can see by the title, we're gonna talk a little bit, maybe a lot about P. Diddy trial, right? Is Cassie is she a conspirator, or is she a willing participant, or is she a victim? Some people might say she's a willing participant. Then you might have some say that she's a victim. Could she be a victim and a willing participant at the same time? Could she be forced to do it? Maybe. We don't know. But she was the first person to testify in this trial. Let's go back to the first day of the trial, right? He is accused of coercing women to sex. His defense team acknowledged episode of violence, but denied he was a sex trafficker. Okay. And this is a federal court. This is a federal charges. And it's in federal district court in Lower Manhattan. So we, as the outside looking in, right? Outside looking in, I think the prosecution want to paint her as a victim. But yet some of the stuff she did and some of the text messages that he showed, that the defense attorney showed today, so she was a willing participant. But at the same time, the prosecution showed some text message that says otherwise. So who are you going to believe? So I'm like, let the evidence speak for itself. That's what I want to know. How did we get here? Did this right here? This can happen to anybody. Fed gets on you, they locks on you, they get evidence against you, you go into trial. And I look like this right. She might have cut a plea deal with the prosecution for not getting charged in some way or another without getting charged. So let's go ahead. They go ahead and read this. Prosecutor painting him as a serial sex predator who orchestrated drug-fueled sex marathon with prostitutes. Okay. And Mr. Cohn's lawyer acknowledged that he was responsible for domestic violence, but denied that he had committed sex trafficking or run a racketeering enterprise. So it goes back. It goes back and forth. See, in detail, Emily A. Johnson, the prosecutor who delivered a 50-minute opening statement for the government, portrayed Mr. Cohn as a man who ordered performances of sex acts and called himself the king. Okay, the king. To the public, he was Puff Daddy or Diddy. Ms. Johnson said, a cultural icon, a businessman, larger than life, but there was another side to him, a side that ran a criminal enterprise. Okay, let's take what the prosecutor said, her open statement, right? Let's take that. Okay, one person could be like this, like he is, for one group of people. But they could be, but in the background, in a other life, they could be something else. They could be something else. Then it said one of the government's first witness was a man who said he'd been paid as much as $6,000 to engage in lengthy sexual encounter with Mr. Cohn's girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, which we know as Cassie, while the music mongo watched. He said he also overheard what he believed to be Mr. Cohn striking Miss Ventura in an adjoining room. Says P. Diddy, 55, one of the most successful producers and entrepreneur in the history of hip hop, faces charge of sex trafficking, transportation to engage in prostitution, racketeering conspiracy, a federal crime best known for its use in prosecuting organized crime syndicate. So, in other words, I think the prosecution is thinking him as a mob boss, because there are some people that want to tell on him. There are some people that were scared of Combs. I don't know what it was, but it is what it is. He could face the rest of life in prison. He pleaded not guilty. And she goes, so this evidence would show that he didn't do nothing wrong, that he wasn't that big Mongo sex trafficker that people thought he was. So and everybody wanted to talk about that one particular party, he choked her and threw her to the floor. Yeah, we all seen that video in the hotel where he did what he did to her. But we don't know all the whole story. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. Not taking up for her, not taking up for him. There's some women that are so in love with the person. There's some men that be so in love with the person. No matter what they do to them, they're gonna stay with them. They're gonna stay with them. They're gonna stay with them. So, what shall we do? How should we do it? When should we? When should we do it? Right? But I tell you, it when it comes down to this trial, I think it's day 3 of the trial, and Cassie been on stage on the stand twice, 2 days. Now she going to be back on the stand for the third day, and the judge told them to help her up and wrap the wrap this witness up, wrap her up, get over with, it and let her get off the stand. Respect together. Together said, no, this man, no, she should not. This man had power in the industry. He could do things that put her in fear. You're right. You're right. She had this. She had Saturday with Bad Boy to do 10 records. She only did one. So he kind of held that over her head. So I'm not saying it's right, but like I said, when people in love with somebody, they do the straightest thing, which is out of character. It's really out of character. And like I told some people on the back end, I don't care who the head honcho. You can look. This woman could be complicit. Could have everything to do with what the other person did. But guess what? When the prosecution comes to you with an offer and it probably give you immunity for your charges, you're gonna take it. Yeah, you're right. That wasn't love. That was fear. That was fear. She got upset. She got upset and she free. Hey, I won't say it, she probably feared for her life. But it's it's the thing that gets me is people want to be so successful they will endure anything and go through anything and do anything to be that, but not knowing by doing that, that person that could get you there got you under their control. Is it fair to say that he had her under his control? Okay, let's go to along. Wouldn't it be fair to say? And I'm trying to find some and this from NBC4 New York. Cassie forced to read aloud explicit message with Diddy as his sex trafficking trial at his sex trafficking trial. Okay, let's go say it. Defense attorney got their turn to cross-examine Cassie ex-girlfriend Sean Diddy Cone and a key witness for the prosecution. The RB singer referred to herself and Cone as drug addicts during a portion of their relationship. Well, I'm gonna say this right here. Yeah, there's a lot of people that do what they did, and I'm not gonna say it was. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse, especially if you was doing it before you met him, and you was doing it while you were with him. You was doing it before you met her. and you were doing it while you with her, that's not an excuse for what was going on. That's why I always say you got to have some kind of self worth. See, I think she had so much low self esteem. She was willing to do anything for that man out of fear, and sometimes we we take as people as whom we take fear and think it's love. We take fear and think it's love. And then Cole's attorney used the questioning to try to suggest drug withdrawal, a pact that Combs and could led him to be moody and violent. Okay, let's play hypothetical. Let's play hypothetical on this one. Let's play hypothetical on this one. Right? Suggested real drug withdrawals. Okay, to play a part in his mood, him being moody. Wait a minute. I know some people know, especially I know some people that know somebody that been on drugs and went through withdrawals, and they don't get moody. They don't get moody in that mood suite. They don't go hit women. They don't go hit men. They don't go do so stupid. Cause if you was having withdrawals, you wouldn't be doing all of that. From my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me. All depends on how many you took, see Viper. Okay, let's go on. Said RB single Casey was forced under cross-examination Thursday to read to a jury her sexually exploited message with former boyfriend Sean Diddy Combs, some of which showed her especially enthusiasm for encounters with other men at Combs' behest that she previously testified she hated doing. Okay, let's take a look at that right there. Let's take a look at that part of the statement that the defense on their cross-examination of her, right? She she might be expressing enthusiasm for some encounters with men on Diddy's behest of him, but that don't mean she has to like it. See, people fail to realize you could do something for somebody else when you're in love with them or when you're in fear of them. Oh, I ain't got to that part yet. See, bro. You could do stuff on behalf of somebody that got, I would say, got the fear of God in you that they'll put in you, and you could use that as I'm gonna do this person because I love them. I'm just saying. I'm not. Hey, I'm just looking at both sides of it. Maybe she wanted to do it herself, but I'm looking at. We gotta take a look at why she did it and why he and how he made her do it. Yeah, it's not love, but see, probably that some people take that fear as I love that person. Take that fear as I love that person, without really they not in love with that person, right? Who say she didn't like it? Some people say, "Oh, she probably didn't like doing it." Did she like doing it? How we know? If you doing something on behalf of somebody else that you fear or that you love, do that mean you have to like it? Do that mean you have to like doing it? So that can go both ways. I think the more the prosecution get to recross, as they say at trial, recross her tomorrow, so they can get something said and done with that. So let's go on. See, lawyers for Combs are seeking to portray Cassie as a willing participant in his sexual lifestyle and say that while he could be violent, nothing he did amounted to a criminal enterprise. Cole denies all the allegations and has pled not guilty to federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges. Let's go back up. I got a question for y'all. Can can you be a willing participant, a willing participant, but still have fear of what's going to happen to you if you don't? You can be a willing participant. That don't mean you have to like it. Can you be both at the same time? Yeah. I think 6,000, some more than that, and some less than that. He did. So then the prosecution comes back and said he exploited his status as a powerful music executive, violently forced Cassie and other women to take part in the encounter with sex workers, which he called freak off, and of using his network or employees to facilitate illegal activity, which is a key part of the racketeering charge. I'm gonna ask y'all by ones, do you think he exploited his status as a record producer Mongo for all these stuff that was going on? Do you think so? And it goes on to say that the best between Combs and Cassie, both romantic and lured, were the focus of the fourth day of testimony of Manhattan defense attorney, and I can't pronounce her last name. And she said, read aloud what Combs said while Cassie recited what she wrote to him. Cassie, whose legal name is Cassandra Ventura, read numerous explicit messages, including some of which she described in graphic detail what she wanted to do during the freak out. At one point, she asked for a short break from the reading, which the judge granted. I got a question. Okay, you want to say he was doing drugs and pretty was um he was and we'll see he was not he was not whatever so other words they saying let's look at this. Let's look at this. Like I said, can you be two in one spot, right? And talking about his moody. It wasn't like wasn't taking none or doing anything. So just think, I'm looking at this right here. You doing something, you want to please somebody, you're going to do it anyway, right? But how do you go from there and arranging stuff for him? Do you think she arranged stuff for him? These kind of parties, whatever. I'm going to say yes. Did she do it willingly? I don't know. I'm going to say I don't know because I don't know. Did she do it willingly? We don't know. Did she like it? Hey, some people say she loved doing it. Some people say, hey, she hated it. She even said she hated it. The question is, the question people need to be asking, did she like what she was doing at the time? Or she just saying she hated it now because she on that stand and it's all out there. It's all out there. Okay, they continue. Kong asked her when she wanted to have the next episode in August 2009, to which she replied, I'm always ready to freak off. Hmm. That sounds like a willing participant to me. Respect, that sound like a willing participant, willing person. I don't care, a man or woman. That sounds like somebody willing to do it. The question people need to ask is, was she willing to do it because she was in fear of him, or that she was in love with him? Which one is which one? Could she fear him and love him at the same time? Yes, of course. But which one is the biggest major factor in it? Back then, I think the biggest major factor in that was, in that relationship, that she loved him so much she was willing to do anything that he asked her to do. She was willing to do anything that he asked her to do. Would y'all do anything that you in love with a person asks you to do? Although you are doing the drugs, although you know in your moral compass that is wrong. Yeah, you're right, you knew. She loved him and feared him. She did it out of both the fear and the love. But the love was more powerful. Then guess what? After they that kind of started growing apart, it's the fear that was more powerful than the love. The fear was more powerful than the love. Like I said, let's play hypothetical. Let's say she did arrange some of the stuff that was going on in L.A., Florida, at his matches, at them parties. Let's say she did. Let's say she did. You don't think if the federal prosecution come to her with a deal, say we grant you immunity, you testify against this person, who wouldn't take that deal? Who would take that deal? Who wouldn't take that deal? Not saying she did. Then you got to ask another question: why is she testifying against Cone? Is she hurt because she only made one record, didn't get to do the other nine, or she hurt that she found out that when they was supposed to be together that he cheated with other women? You got to look at that part too. See, I'm looking all around all of it. The question is, did the prosecutor? I'm going to tell you, we are not going to know if the prosecution offered her a deal. We're not going to know. We're not going to know. Then 2 days later, Cassie sent an explicit message, and he replied in eager anticipation. She responded, "Me too. I just want it to be uncontrollable." Cone's lawyer had insisted that all the sex at the freak-off was consensual. Okay. All the sex at the freak-offs was consensual. Okay. Let's take a look at this right here. Okay. Let's just say that was a regular guy. Say that was a regular woman, right? and you hire for drugs. You hire for drugs. Can and you drunk? Can a woman or man consent to a sexual activity while intoxicated or on drugs? Uh, can they consent to a sexual activity? Put a one in the check, you say yes. Put a two in the check, you say no. I think not. Right, a lot of I'm gonna say this right here. Not just a lot of women, a lot of men do the things out of fear that they don't want to do. And I guarantee you, some people that uh, around P Diddy, they didn't want to do that, but they didn't want to rock the boat because the fear that he installed. Hey, I'm not. Look, like I said, she probably made a deal with the federal court prosecution. For all we know, don't know. Hey, it just like I said, she gonna be on the stand tomorrow too. She gonna be on the stand tomorrow too. So get ready, because the question I asked, can somebody in a drug induced state and went mixed with alcohol induced state, both of them combined, either one, both of them separate. Can a woman or man consent to sexual act, or they consider uh same when they commit to a sexual act when they high and drunk, or high and drunk at the same time? Can they be considered? Can that sex be considered consensual? I think tomorrow gonna be her third day and her final day. Can a person, anybody, give consent when they out on drugs or alcohol? Can they give consent? I don't think they can. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. Okay, let's continue. Later that year, however, she had also sent Combs a message that she was frustrated with the state of their relationship and needed something more from him than sex. Yeah, she having a baby in a few days. That's why the judge said, hurry, get through with the witness and get off the state, get her off of there. Do you think he got mad because Cassie told him that she wanted more than sex? You think do anybody think that? Do you think she told him that she wanted more than sex? So that was that what she said. What else I'll get out of relationship besides sex, the drugs, alcohol. Yeah. See, and then Combs Diddy appeared relaxed at the defense table and the messages was read, sitting in the back with his hand folded and his leg crossed. Okay. And while they were still reading more affectionate conversation, Cassie testified that Combs was charismatic and larger than life personality. She said she had fallen in love with him and cared about him very much. She said, spoke gently during the questioning, which at times had such a feeling tone that they seemed like chatting. Cassie's testimony was in contrast to the violence and the shame she said on Wednesday accompanied her hundreds of encounters with male sex workers that Combs watched and controlled during their relationship. which lasted from 2007 to 2018, and began when she was 19 and he th- was in his 30. Hmm. She was 19. He was 30. He was impressionable on her, and she want to get into the industry. She want to make it big. She want to make it big. So I'm not gonna say she totally innocent, but with a powerful man like Sean P. Diddy Cone that manipulates, control every aspect of somebody's life. She was 19. She was impressible when they started in 2007. 2007. That's 18 years ago. 18 years ago. And this what happened. While prosecutor had focused on Cole's desire to see Cassie have sex with other men, she testified that she sometimes watched Cole have sex with other women. She said Cole described it as part of a swinging lifestyle. But I'm like I said before, fear. She was infatuated with him. She was in love with him, but yet started to fear him. Cause guess what? Either one, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna do what you got to do to try to keep that person, to keep that person happy. So she is implicit in this situation. And like I said before, I told him my note on the back end while we talked today. I said, yeah, anybody, him on this panel, people in the chat who gonna watch, whoever gonna watch the replay, if the federal prosecution come to you with a deal by the immunity, if you testify against a person, or you gonna take that deal, I'm gonna take that deal. Cause guess what? If I don't take that deal, guess what? I might be going away for a while. I'm not gonna see my kids. I'm not gonna see my family. So guess what? We as journalists and onlookers, we are not going to know specific of that deal. And I guarantee you, the federal prosecution gave her a deal that way. We don't hear about it. Respect it, Mondo.
Salute, salute, salute to the chat. Salute.
Can't hear you.
Hold on. Let me get to my audio.
Can you hear me now?
You got something wrong, bro. Can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
I'm starting to hear you now.
Okay, can anybody in the chat hear me?
Yeah, they hear you now.
Okay.
They hear you. We hear you.
Um, I don't blame them for taking a deal. The goal is, when you when you involved in something like this, you want to get out of it with the less amount of years as possible. Um, but I stand on what I said earlier when we were all on the phone when we had our WPAT conference call earlier today. I still stand on the fact I still believe that Cassie deserves some kind of time. I don't feel that she was a victim. I feel like she was a participant. I do feel that she was a victim of domestic violence. I do believe that P. Diddy was, brutally beating on her, but that does not exempt her from her actions, party to a crime. You know, is it? I wouldn't exempt her. Now she may get out of this without any time, but she was a participant.
Yeah, but you know what they say. The first one come to the table, the first one talk gets a deal, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's why I said I think she'll get out of it maybe with probation or something like that, community service or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't get any time at all because she's cooperating with the feds and the investigators. But yeah, it's smart on her part to get a deal.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
plus she's about to be a mother. She has a
for the
family.
third time. For the third
For the
time.
third. Yeah, she's about to be a mother for the third time. So you don't want to be in prison and you just gave birth to a child. You know, that's
Yeah,
the last thing you need.
yeah. And I had asked this question. I don't think you heard this question a lot. Uh, if you're doing, can anybody consent while high or drunk, or high and drunk at the same time? Can anybody consent? Man and woman consent to sex?
I can put it like this. When okay, when most couples are planning a romantic night, okay, and they get, you know, they're eating dinner, they're having a candlelight dinner. 9 times out of 10, they're sipping on what? Wine and champagne, right? And
Yep.
they're gonna finish it. They're gonna get a little tipsy. Then they're gonna make their way to the bedroom, and then they're gonna have sex. 9 times out of 10, you know, the alcohol enhances the the sex. You know, so yes. People, you know, you can have sex when you're drunk or when you high, whatever. You know, you know, some people, you know, some couples, they get together, they get high together, and then they have sex. It makes the euphoria better. It's just they, you know. But me personally, um, I don't think it's a good idea if you're out at a bar or at a club and you meet a female and she's sloppy drunk. You give her a ride home. If you give her a ride home, you make sure she get home safe, and you make sure she's inside safe, and you leave. Okay, now if it's a situation where you stay, if you decide to stay, sleep on the couch and let her take the bedroom and sleep it off. You know, I don't think it's a good idea. Like if you're walking into a situation and that female is drunk, and then y'all, you know, then you have sex with her, you putting yourself at risk when you're doing it like that. But if y'all are getting drunk together, if y'all are drinking together, if y'all are having a romantic night together and you get tipsy together and then you take it to the bedroom, that's a different story.
Yeah, and that's in a relationship or not in a relationship. Cause guess what? When you in that kind of state, right? They say you in
Hmm.
that kind of drunken state, that high state, or high and drunk at the same time state. How many people you know make a sound decision in that the situation? Not many. Not
Well,
many.
that's that. Okay, what I'm saying is, if it's a couple
Hmm.
and they are okay, say
I know what you say. I know what you saying.
if it's a couple and both of them want to pop a X pill together. Okay, so are they rolling together? And 9 times out of 10, they got some alcohol there and they're drinking together, and then they just go at it all night. You know, it enhances the sex. It makes the euphoria. It takes it to another level.
Yeah, but
You know.
but like I said, with the
But if you're coming, salute to you together. But if you're coming to the party, if you are okay, say if you walk into a party
Mm-hmm.
and the girl is there, and she is drunk and she is high, sloppy drunk, and she high, and she asks you for a ride home, or if she say, "Hey, let's go upstairs in one of these rooms," say that ain't a good idea.
Nah.
If she asks you for a ride home, you make sure she get home safe.
Yeah.
If you stay there with her, don't have sex with her that night. Just put her in a room, put the covers over her, leave her room, go downstairs and take the couch.
Yeah. And this right here, that's just gonna go for female. They go for men too. Cause there's some women take advantage of men that sloppy, high and all that stuff. Cause consensual. Cause if you could think about it, if a woman takes if a if you get charged with, okay, a man won't get charged with that crime, and they found out you were drunk or high or both at the same time, they're gonna consider that you wasn't able to consent. You feel what I'm saying? But at the same time, as a couple, like them
As
two
a as
were,
a, as a couple, that's different.
yeah,
But like I was saying, if you walk into a bar and a woman is coming on to you and throwing herself all on you, and she smell like a liquor barrel,
hmm,
you
that's
know,
all. Oh, that was all right. That was an old term right there. Look
yeah,
about that's
yeah,
an old term for the
yeah, yeah.
folks.
She smell like a damn liquor barrel. If you comfortable enough, you make sure she get home safe. Now you knew was saying that's not a good idea. Well, you're in a catch 22. Because if you
Yeah.
call her a Uber or if you call her a Lyft, all right, you don't know what's gonna happen to that young lady.
Mm-hmm.
Cause these Uber drivers, you don't y'all know y'all done heard the stories where these
Yep.
Uber drivers get these girls, these drunk girls in the car, and they drive off with them, and you never see them again.
Yeah. And I asked you this question while we was on the phone, right? I asked you this question while we was on the phone. I asked if you was her husband. You know my answer to this already. If
Hmm.
any male in there, if you was her husband, you sitting there and listen to all those text messages that the defense attorney and the prosecutor will read, how would you feel?
You knew when you are a couple, you can do whatever. It is no holds barred. When you are a couple and you doing it together. Come on
And
now. It's 2025, you knew. It ain't 1955, baby. It's 2025. Come on now. Couples can ain't nothing wrong with a couple getting down and and taking it to another level. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with a couple. If a couple want to have some champagne and have a nice evening, romantic evening together, 9 times out of 10, they gonna be drinking on some wine, or they gonna be sipping on some champagne, or a shot of tequila, and then they, get get to doing their thing, and it goes to the bedroom. A couple.
yeah,
Come on now. Come on. It's 2025. Come on.
yeah, and like this, it's like even with couples, if one don't feel like doing, don't force yourself on it.
No,
Force yourself.
no, no,
Yeah,
no, no.
I'm just getting that out there. So
Yeah,
I'm just getting that out there. That they go for the man and the woman. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Cause we already know.
I ain't never heard nothing like that. You know, not with no married couple and a couple that's the I ain't never heard nothing like that.
So
Never heard nothing like I know me. I mean, when I did drink when I was younger, me and the woman I'm with, we would drink together.
yeah,
And
yeah.
when it was, and then when we had our alone time, and then that made the sex even better. So I mean, couples can experience things together.
Okay, we finna get into this right here. Okay, after the prosecution gonna redirect, she gonna be on the stand tomorrow, which the judge told them they need to finish up with Cassidy tomorrow. So the prosecutor gonna redirect, ask her question. if you was in that jury box, I'm talking to people in the chat and me, you on this panel. How would you look at it? I'm going to get my thing on it. I would look at it as the prosecutors didn't do another sway me, and the defense didn't do nothing enough to sway me. You see what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. Because both of them had good points.
Don't be surprised if it's a hung jury. I'm telling everybody right now, do not be surprised if it's a hung jury. As a matter of fact, there is a greater chance of it being a hung jury than it being a conviction.
Yeah. And it all depends on how many more witnesses the prosecution got to call, how long did the trial go, and what witnesses the defense going to call.
Because it's not like R. Kelly, okay, where the prosecutors just had him dead to right. You understand what I'm saying? We knew R. Kelly was done. We knew he was gone. This, honestly, it don't feel like this. It don't feel like the same thing to me. It just feels like this thing could go
either way.
Either way, it could go three different ways. We could get a conviction, we could get an acquittal,
or mistrial,
or we could get a mistrial, a hung jury, a mistrial.
And the thing is, I didn't understand.
All three on the table to me, from what I'm seeing. All three is on the table, and from what I'm hearing out of New York.
Yeah, and this is what I don't understand about the prosecution. Why you call that Esco as the first witness?
Man, let me tell you something. Do you know why? Do you know why lawyers become? So, do you know why lawyers become prosecutors? The ones that become prosecutors are not as good or not on the level. The best attorneys, the sharpest attorneys, are the defense attorneys. The prosecutors are they're not, for some reason, the prosecutors are not as good as these defense attorneys. These defense attorneys be on point.
So they do their homework.
Respect,
they do their homework.
Yeah.
And what the prosecution got to see with the prosecution, they depends on the evidence, the police report, key witnesses. You see what I'm saying? They got to cut deals that some people don't want them to cut. So they got a whole lot of things that got to build a case against a defendant.
Yeah, it's like they're coming in with an advantage.
Yeah,
but it just seems like to me, like, okay, so if you go to a law school,
yeah,
the top ranked students, the top ranked law students, the ones that finish top of their classes from law school, those end up becoming defense attorneys, getting their own firms and becoming defense, like Nugent and Gary Martin and Hayes, and them be the best attorneys, where the ones that are okay end up becoming prosecutors.
I'm telling you this right here. I see this one. I seen it both ways. I see the defense attorney become a prosecutor. I seen the prosecutor become a defense attorney.
Yeah,
which was one of them.
The good prosecutors end up leaving and becoming defense attorneys because they know. Honestly, it's more money in being a defense attorney.
Yeah,
way more money.
Because the prosecutor gets paid by the state or by what's the government.
Yeah.
So I look at this way right here. If you're a defense attorney and you become a prosecutor, being a defense attorney, would that make you a way better prosecutor?
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. Absolutely.
See, and like I said, but the defense attorney is paid by the family, the man that they are representing.
Mhm.
So they're gonna do their due diligence, find all kinds of loopholes, and whatever evidence the prosecution get, they got to turn over to the defense attorney, and whatever, vice versa. But like you said, it could go either three ways in this trial for right now. But I still don't understand why that federal prosecutor called the escort as the first witness. I don't
That was
understand that.
that was dumb. That really kind of hurt their case.
I would
That was
have went
dumb.
with Cassie. I would have went with Cassie first. If you want to be technical about it, I would have went with
Yeah,
her first.
yeah, you could have went with Cass at first, but that escort, man, is like, and that's another thing too. Prosecutors don't vet. They don't vet their witnesses.
Hmm.
Case in point. Case in point. Marsha Clark
Yep.
and Christopher Dunn. They did not vet Mark Furman.
Nope, they didn't. No, they didn't.
They did not vet Cato Kalin.
They knew it was all. Look, it was all out there. It was
Yeah.
all out there. And I'm gonna say this right here. When that escort testified, we can go back and forth, escort, prostitution, whatever it is. When he testified first, that kind of hurt the defense. You see what I'm saying? Sex trafficking, prostitution, and he said they paid him $6,000, $5,000, or more to have sex with Cassidy.
He
You
paid
see?
him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying?
She paid him $1,000 a couple of times to urinate on her.
Yeah.
It wasn't P. Diddy. It was her. She gave him the money. She gave him the money and requested him to urinate on her.
Yeah. But it was out that I don't know which one gave him $6,000, $5,000, whatever. I don't care which one did it, but that right there kind of hurt his defense. But this right here, this a third day on the stand? It'll be her second or third day. The ball will be her fourth day. This kind of righted the ship for the defense.
Like I said, this just does not feel like it's different from R. Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Different from the Cosby trial.
Mm-hmm.
It's just different. It feels like that this ain't nowhere near a slam dunk. This is nowhere near a slam dunk conviction. I'm telling everybody from my sources out of New York, this is not a slam dunk. I'm not saying he won't get convicted, but it ain't no slam dunk. The prosecution, they're gonna have to work for this one. They are going to have to work for this one.
Yeah, and I'm going to put it out there. They can get him on some of the charges. You know how prosecutors have a whole slew of charges they charge somebody with.
Mm-hmm.
Like
you knew we can only go off of what the witness said. The witness said that Cassie requested it, and Cassie paid him the money. I'm only going off what the witness said. I mean, we can speculate and assume and say Diddy did this, Diddy did that, Diddy did this. I'm going off of what the witness said, and the witness said that Cassie was the one that requested it, and Cassie was the one that put the money in his hand. So I'm just going off what the witness said. He was on the oath, so I take him for what his word.
And then he also, I'm telling you, he also said that Diddy was sitting there telling him what to do. You see what I'm saying? He also said that on the stand. So that's why I don't understand why the prosecutor put him on the stand. I would have had him on somewhere on the down the line till I got to that part. You feel what I'm saying? Till I got to that part. Well, you had him somewhere down the line till you got to that part, bro.
Well, it really don't make a difference.
No, it really don't.
I mean, because this man's testimony, Either way, if you do it in the beginning, the middle, or the end, it's not good for the prosecution.
No, but I look at this right here. But like I said, the federal got the federal
I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Somebody need to. I'm like this. I don't think he's the only one. Putting one person in prison would be egregious.
yeah.
It took a group effort. This is a group effort. It's a lot of people that need to go to prison, and not just P. Diddy.
Yeah.
See, singling P. Diddy out and making him out to be the big bad monster ain't gonna solve a damn thing. When you letting hold on, slow down, brother. When you letting other criminals get away and walk out of damn court just because they were singing like a bird.
Yeah.
That ain't justice in my book. That ain't you ain't solving the problem. You letting criminals back out on the street. So they come and rat the top dog out. So you would just let them back on the street. Yeah. No, I don't agree with that.
And see, I don't agree with I'm looking at this. I understand what you're talking about, bro. And I'm looking at this right here. How many men and women in P. Diddy's circle knew what was going on? Didn't say nothing, and the prosecutors didn't had a whole lot to do with it. You know, some of the people in his circles had a whole lot to do with it. Cause you can't tell me Cassie and P. Diddy set all that stuff up by the damn self.
And that's what I was saying earlier. It's a group effort. It was a group of people involved, in my opinion. It's a group of them. I feel like I ain't saying all should get the same time. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what I'm not saying that. The ringleader, the conspirator, P. Diddy should get the most time. But what I'm saying is the other participants should also get time too. Okay, they're just like with R. Kelly and with Nature Boy. All right, with Nature Boy. All right, Nature Boy. Not only should Nature Boy go to prison, but them other girls that was grooming them young girls in their house, their ass should have went to prison too. But they was let back out on the street. I don't understand how you give the ringleader a whole lot of years, but you give a slap on the wrist to the foot soldiers. And the foot soldiers are the ones that's actually doing the most dirt. It's just like the Manson family. Charles Manson didn't touch nobody. Charles Manson didn't pull no trigger. Them crazy girls, them little crazy girls are the ones that did the stabbing and the shooting and stuff. Them the ones that did it. They got slapped on the wrist. Some of them girls got 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. He got life. That's just not justice to me. Just because of, a person go out there and commit a crime. They can do whatever. They could be a part of a cartel, commit a crime. But if they cut a deal with the prosecution, they cut a deal with the state, they'll get a slap on the wrist. And the person that they were committing a crime with end up going to prison for a lot of years. So this person's reward for being a criminal also, but ratting out the other person, they get a slap on the wrist and get let back out on the streets. That's what's wrong with this country, man. That's what's wrong with this country.
I'm gonna say this right here. You know what worse than that is? You know what worse that is? They have a person they have a person they know they're involved in it and don't even charge them with it. They don't even go to trial. They don't even get to make a deal, but yet there was a complete situation. That gonna put away. There gonna be some people. There gonna be some people like that in Diddy circle who complicit in the whole situation.
That is why I'm saying Cassie, and I'm just the people that I've been communicating with out of New York. Those people know some people that were actually there, that actually seen things with their own eyes. And they are relaying to me that Cassie was a part of a lot of the mess that was going on up in there. She's not innocent. Now she is a victim of domestic violence. Yes. But she is not like a sweet innocent angel that was forced into that world of crime that P. Diddy had going on. She was a willing participant in that operation.
I'm gonna ask you this question though. Do you think, not just on this right here, do you think some females, they want to make it big so bad they'll overlook the stuff that the person they look up to, they love, that got that should get them to that point?
You got some common ordinary women that'll do that. They get pound, they get taken to Pound Town,
Hmm.
and the dude mess up their head, and their heads be all in the clouds. They know the dude is no good. They know he's a dope boy. They know what type of lifestyle he lives, but they don't care. They know this dude done took lives. They know this dude done put people in the grave, but they will still screw that dude.
Yeah.
Still fall in love with him. Still treat him like a king. Yes, you got females that are like that, and it ain't always the celebrities. I see it happen out here in real life.
Yeah. That's why I put it. That's why I put it that way. You know what I'm saying? Cause we as humans, even men do it too. Men do it too. Boy, they fall for it, and the woman said do this, good, what they gonna go do it, and they put it away. When a man go crash out for a woman, cause another guy did something to him, that you like what I was talking about. Am I right?
Yeah.
Am I right about that? So they call men crash out, and guess what? Women crash out too. So it's like this. I want to see who else the prosecution calls, and who the defense gonna call, and I want to see who else didn't get caught. We ain't gonna never know who else didn't get caught up in this. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna know.
Well, Tiffany Haddish is supposed to she's supposed to testify.
Testify.
Yeah. So look, man, it's like this. Like I said, they need to round them all up, bro. They need to
Mm-hmm.
round them all up. Everybody that's involved, everybody that has something to do with it, they need to do some time. Something. I don't give a damn if it's a year. They need to do
Yeah,
something.
yeah. I got a question for you and the chat. You think Jay-Z was involved in all of that too?
I don't know. I can't speculate on what I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not putting
yeah,
anybody's name in it that we don't have no concrete evidence. So
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
I ain't finna do that.
But we know a whole lot of celebrities that was in all of that.
I know I heard, but I
Yeah,
don't, as
yeah,
far as like individual names, I'm not
yeah.
gonna go there. I'm
Now,
gonna stay on what I know. I ain't
yeah,
but
yeah. No, we ain't gonna
yeah,
speculate.
these folks affiliated with that naughty, and I ain't. I'm telling you, bro. When I tell you it's real, it's real. You will get a
Yeah,
knock at your door if you get the chirping too loud about stuff that you don't know about.
yeah. But and I guarantee you, Diddy ain't the only one doing this shit.
He ain't, but I ain't speculating
No,
to who.
no, no,
I'm
no,
just
no,
I'm
no,
just
well, I ain't talking about
I'm just
celebrity.
dealing with the here and now. That's
No,
all it
no,
is.
no. I'm not just talking about celebrity. I'm talking about even the one that ordinary people. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I gotta figure out how in the hell did somebody snitch on Nature Boy?
they were watching Nature Boy, but the girls. See, the thing about Nature Boy, the difference between Nature Boy and P Diddy, Nature Boy wasn't. After so long, he would let them go. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't necessarily try to hold them there against their will. If they wanted to leave, they could leave. And the ones that left went to the authorities and they started talking. Then they opened up an investigation, and the GBI was watching him.
Oh yeah. I
The
remember that.
GBI was watching. And remember, he used to have them girls out in public, like sitting on, urinating on the sidewalks and
Doing crazy stuff.
drinking, yeah, doing crazy stuff, drinking out of a dog bowl, lining up in a single file line like they in the military or something. Like he had them doing weird stuff out in public, and that's another reason why he got caught. And they were like, wait a minute now, what's going on? And they started watching him like a hawk, bro.
And I tell you, and to young men and young women, be careful who you deal with. You know what I'm saying? That's one good thing. See, that's why we talk about this. Because if we don't talk about this right here, you're gonna get people gonna get caught up in stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It is what it is. We will see what they talk about tomorrow. I don't know to redirect. Hey,
Mhm.
his defense attorney asked the right question. And prosecution wanted put away. The prosecution opened the door with them text messages exam uh when they asked the questions. The first when she was on the stand. So they opened the door for the defense attorney to bring them other text messages in. So it is what it is. like we said, it can go either way. So don't be surprised, and don't be surprised who be on that stand for the defense and the witness, Def- for the defense and the prosecution.
Mhm.
Boy, hey, I don't know what trial will watch more, OJ, R. Kelly, Cosby, or this one.
OJ, easily OJ, bro. OJ. That's the most watched trial in the history, of America. That's up there. It's OJ, then Watergate.
Yeah, yep, yep,
Those
yep.
two top. You go one and two.
And I think that here's something else right here. Um, his defense attorney asked Cassie directly whether she thought freak-offs were related to swingers' lifestyle. I don't think swingers' lifestyle is like the freak-off. You feel what I'm saying? I don't think. I don't think
Say that again now.
his defense attorney asked her directly whether she thought freak-offs were related to swingers' lifestyle.
It's kind of similar. It's kind of similar. It's kind of similar because those swingers they attend swingers clubs, and then they'll have like I don't know well, like in the subdivisions and in those expensive neighborhoods,
Mm-hmm.
when you see like 50 cars parked outside a big ass mansion
Yeah.
late at night. That's what's going on. 9 times out of 10, that's what's going on.
I'm gonna ask you what's your thought on this right here. She testified that these encounters were fueled by drugs and would last hours and even days, with her sometimes taking IV fluid to recover and eventually developing an opioid addiction because it made her feel numb afterwards. What do you think about what she said about that?
uh, you know, word on the street is she already had drug issues, bro.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And she also testified that Diddy grape grape her when she broke up with him in 2018, and that
I
he
can
kept
believe
her
I can believe that.
locked in a life of physical abuse by threatening to release videos of her doing the freak offs. Mm.
My thing is, my thing is, my only concern is everything that she's saying he did to her.
Hmm.
Why the hell she didn't go to the authorities?
That brings me to my next thing. That brings me to my next thing. I knew that was in there, right? Look at what's all going on now. Smokey Robinson, Uncle Shay Shay, and who else? Now, now, Holly. I forgot what her damn last name is. Her and DDG. You see what I'm saying? Why you go after the money first, but not press charges?
That's a red flag to me. My thing is, if I'm a female and if I get sexually violated, the the perpetrator, the first thing I'm thinking about is getting justice before money. Yeah, I'll eventually sue you and get my money, but the first thing I would think about is getting justice and putting your ass behind bars. So that's what when I see women allegedly
Mm,
allegedly
yep.
claiming to be sexually violated or sexually harassed, and they waiting 5, 10, 20 years to come forward, and then when they do come forward, they talking about money, cha-ching, before
Hmm.
justice. It's a red flag to me. I'm sorry, because I'm thinking, I'm putting myself in their shoes.
Yeah.
It ain't put it like this. That right there is one of the worst nightmares. One of the worst nightmares for a female, to have your innocence taken away, or to be sexually violated, or to have someone to to uh to violate you physically like that. So
Yeah.
why would you not report it? Why would you wait 5, 10, 20 years to say something? And then when you do say something, it's about the money first
Yeah. Yep.
instead of getting justice. So I mean, if it was me and I was a female and a dude violated me, sexually violated me, I'm going straight to the authorities. I'm going straight to the cops. I don't give a damn who they are.
Yep. And I'm gonna tell you this right here. What when that first came out by Shannon Sharp, right? I was okay. Okay, let me just see what's going on. When I heard that she was going, that every, I'm just gonna keep calling her Victor to I know otherwise, was suing him for $50 million, and then it came out that he was working on $100 million contract. That got me to thinking. Wait a minute here. You going out there for half of that contract that he supposedly was working on, but no police report. And come and find out, the girl that was doing that was on a fans model, OEF model.
Mm.
So put two and two together, bro. And like you said, I don't care, man or woman. If you go sue somebody before getting justice for filing charges against them, you looking for the bag. Sorry, look, until you prove otherwise, because we didn't hear about no charge against Shannon Sharp. We didn't hear no charge against Smoke about a whole lot of men and women we don't hear no charge against, but yet they get sued.
Yeah, that's the red flag with me. That's the red flag with me. Getting
So,
money, getting money. That money gonna eventually run out one day. Getting money ain't justice. It make you feel better. You know what I'm saying? It'll
for the
make you
time
feel
being,
better. But yeah, but it ain't gonna erase what happened to you. It ain't gonna erase the scars of what happened to you. You know what I'm saying? So if you really, really got violated, sexually violated, man, you need to get justice. Damn that money.
What do you think about our together comment? I agree with her.
I agree with her.
I agree with it.
I definitely agree with it.
I do too. Because think about it. I look at it like some women, not all of them, some women, they want the money. They don't want justice. Because you don't get justice, and that man did that to you, and he gonna do it to another woman. That means you don't give a damn about the other woman that he supposedly will or will not go do it to. You see what I'm saying? Isn't that what they're telling you?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't the Me Too movement for to be about sisterhood?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy to me how we as a society will go for the bad before going for justice. Some of us. I know Together You Knew, Phoenix Rise. I know a whole bunch of women. I know a whole bunch of women and men. Guess what? We taking you we're going to trial. But guess what? If I win the trial, then I'm gonna sue you. Even if I win that trial, I'm gonna still sue you. That's after I get my justice. That's the way it's supposed to be. See, this is what I think this should be, how it should be done. If a woman has been sexually violated, she shouldn't be able to put in a civil suit against that man unless she have press charges against that man. What you think?
Say that again now.
I said, if a woman or a man been sexually violated by a woman or a man, they shouldn't be able to sue, go to a civil trial, get money from that man or woman, unless they have pressed charges against that woman or man for the alleged sexual assault.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
I agree with that. I agree with that.
She ought to quit. She said, quote, I gave up my coochie and he did not like it. Now I am going to lie and say he hurt me. Hey, some women do that. Some hey, some women say that. Hey, some women say that. So with, like I said, this trial, it feel like she's on trial. It feel like she's on trial and he's on trial at the same time. But she got the better deal. But we don't know what the deal was. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So both of them really on. Cause way that defense attorney was grilling her, boy, he got a heck of a defensive team. Cause when he was grilling her, the text message and the question she would see, the woman cross-examined Cassie, right? And cause do you want a man cross-examining a woman on the stand?
I mean, it don't make no difference.
No.
It made no difference. It don't make no difference. I mean,
Yeah.
They're like that attorney. I mean, that prosecutor cross-examined. What's that crazy girl like in Arizona?
Oh damn! Can't think of that. Know who you talking about? Can't
Jody
think of
Aries. He cross-examined Jody Aries, and he carved her up on that stand.
Yeah.
He crossed her up because it really, for a minute, it looked like she was gonna get away with it. He crossed her. He crossed
Yeah.
up. So I mean, it don't matter. Male up here. I mean, shoot, female. You got some female prosecutors. They have dropped the ball and
Yeah.
and let folks walk out. You know what I'm saying? When they should have been found guilty. So it don't matter,
It
man.
it is what it is.
Mhm.
You see what Together said? Look,
Yeah.
here she go.
Yeah. If you don't pay your rent on time, if you don't pay your rent on time, the rent enforcer will come after you.
Mhm. Ooh, boy, hey, look here. I'll tell you, bro. Uh, Basketball season about over with. March Madness over with, and June and August, June, July, August coming back around. Football season get ready to come back around. But guess what? This is something we watch. This trial is something we're gonna watch. At least we got something look into.
Mhm.
And
It's gonna be interesting to watch, but it ain't nowhere near the level of the OJ
OJ,
trial and
no,
in the Watergate hearings. It ain't
mm,
nowhere near that level, bro.
nope, 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 nope. And I wonder how you think gonna last all this month.
Yeah, this gonna go the distance right here.
This a New York and Boston marathon put together, ain't it?
I ain't saying it's gonna be long as the OJ trial, but it's gonna go the distance. It's definitely gonna go the distance.
It ain't gonna be no two. It ain't gonna be no 2 week trial either.
No, it ain't gonna be nothing like George Zimmerman, a quick trial, and Lucy McBeth's son's trial. His no, it ain't gonna be nothing like that.
Because I look like this right here. We don't know who all. Like I said, we don't know how long the defense attorney and the prosecution witnesses list are. We don't know how long it is. You see how long Cassie been on the stand, and the escort was on the stand for what? One night, one day, and this day 3, and this day 3, and she been on the stand 2 days, and gonna be the 3rd day. Shh. And I wonder how long Tiffany Haddish gonna be on the stand.
Who calling her to the stand?
It probably.
Is it the prosecutor or the defense?
I don't know yet. Let's see. We don't know who would the list she on right now.
Okay. I think the process is right now. Who's calling people to the stands? Is it the prosecutor or the defense?
The prosecution.
Okay,
so they get the first shot. They get the first shot.
I think Tiffany Haddish is gonna hurt. You know what I'm saying? She too dang. She's too silly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You the jury. Will the jury take her serious? You know what
That
I'm saying?
is the question.
That's the risk you run on putting a damn comedian or actress or actor on the stand. Will the jury take them serious? Because these people are trained actors. Yeah, she goofy as hell together. I don't like her. Any movie that she play in, I would not pay my money to go see it. I don't like nothing that she play. Her stand up is garbage too.
Yeah, and you know what? This what I look at with the prosecution and the defense attorneys, right? You only as good as your witnesses. You know what I'm saying? You as good as your people you put on that stand. That's for you.
I don't know about that because I think Marsha Clark was a damn good prosecutor. I really do believe that other guy, he had coochie on his mind. His head wasn't. It was his decision to have OJ to try on the glove in front of the jury. He dropped the ball. Christopher Darden dropped the ball. Marsha Clark. See, that's another thing too. The prosecution team It could be one idiot on the team that mess it up for everybody.
Well, this is a question I got. Who out there was to put Mark Furman on that gonna stand?
They both decided, but the thing about it is, okay, this is the thing about it. Mark Furman hurt. Don't get me wrong, but even after Mark Furman was exposed at being a racist. Okay, all right. So all right, how many cops have you? If you could wire them and listen to their conversation, you would probably get a lot of Mark Furmans out there. That really was not the game changer. Was the glove?
Yeah.
The game changer with the gloves. If it had not been for the glove, bro, I think they would have got OJ.
Yeah, and that's what what's his defensive attorney name? I forgot his goddamn name. You know what I'm talking about? But that phrase, if it don't fit, you must have quit.
Together he had something to do with it. He didn't do it by himself. He had something to do with it.
Yeah.
He was there. Number one, he had something to do. He wasn't by himself. But he had something to do with it. He wasn't innocent. Too much evidence. Blood, the cut on his hand, and then, flying to Chicago on the same night. They both owed money.
And the thing is though, just like we said in this predicted trial, the person that helped him had a hand in it too.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what?
Oh Lord, you in denial together. Talking about OJ didn't do it. You in denial. He all but admitted in one of his books, and he all but admitted it that he did it. He subliminally quite a few times. I'm gonna send you some links through your email. He subliminally in an interview out of his own mouth admitted that he did it. He did it. He didn't do it by himself, but he did it. He had a hand in it. See, we as a black community, we gotta start being honest with ourselves. Okay, we gotta start being honest with ourselves. OJ did it. Okay. The guy with the Atlanta child murders, he had something. He didn't do all 28, but he had a hand in it. Wayne Williams had a hand in it. You got some people walking around Atlanta still believe that man innocent. That man is not innocent. Because when they got him on that bridge, the killing stopped.
It's like this right here. Oh, you're reading that? It's like some people gonna get away. Some people gonna get something. Some people ain't gonna get nothing because they is not in it. You see what I'm saying? They in it, but they not in
Kids will
it.
say anything to make their daddy look good. Girls, daughters will go the extra mile to protect their fathers.
Like I said, there's a whole lot of people that did something, got away with it, did something, got sent to prison, but that the person that helped them do it, they ain't get nothing. You see what I'm saying? And nobody know they helped them do it.
Well, you can look at some of the assassinations.
Yeah.
Anybody would gotta be a fool to believe Lee Harvey Oswald pulled that off by himself from that window, from that bookstore window with one rifle.
Nah.
You three shots. One hit the governor, two hit the president. People got to absolutely be an idiot to think that Dr. King, it was one gunman that pulled it off. Come on, man. Together.
Hey.
Yes, sir. How are you?
How you doing?
I look. I'm finna mute up. This ain't got that to
Oh,
do with me.
no. I'm just gonna say something. Around the time that situation, actually prior to Nicole being taken away, I went with one of my friends to um, state board because she was getting her license to be a hairstylist, and we were sitting outside. We were in a like really prestigious area that she went to, and a lot of people had started talking about Nicole and this, that, and the other, and we had to go back for a number of days. And then after it happened, a lot of people that live in that area was saying that she was known for, and I don't know her, so I'm just giving what I heard, that she was like always getting substances from, I don't know who these people are because I never met them, and they came to collect. But then they had a show where they showed OJ Simpson, and she was telling him that she needed money right away. She had to pay somebody, and he said, "I just gave you $10,000. I'm not giving you any more money." And when they had that little girl Sydney on the stand when the trial happened, they asked her, what happened, and she said that night that her mom sent her upstairs to go get her jacket so that they could go get some ice cream. And she said she heard a knock on the door, and some guy was yelling at her mother really loud, asking for his money. And she was like, I don't have it right now, but I can get it from what the little girl said was her daddy. But she said, OJ, I can get it from him. And she called him and asked him, and he yelled again and told her, no, I don't have no money for you. No, I'm not giving you any more money. Her whole family knew, but they're not going to say anything, allegedly, that this chick was dealing with drugs. Everybody up in that circle probably was dealing with it. I don't know them personally, but if he knew about it, I don't think that he was strong enough to do it, because Ronald Goldman was a black belt in martial arts. He could disarm you with weapons. They show videos of him, but he was very, very good at martial arts. So that's why I know that OJ couldn't have done that, because he would have broke his little puny, frail butt. He already had arthritis and all kinds of health issues. So there's no way he could whoop that boy. That boy was good at what he did. They showed all types of videos. He was bad.
But see,
So
the
he
thing
could.
is, together, uh, OJ wasn't alone. I don't believe he was alone. I think he was either too deep or three deep.
I think it was more
I've
than that.
always said that I don't believe OJ was by himself in
I
that
think it
Bronco.
was more than I think it was more than three people, because from what his dad videos where he was showing multiple you know how when you showing your skills for videos, multiple people came to pretend like they was attacking him, and he wore all of them people out. He was, when I say he was good, he got trophies, he got awards, he got everything. So I believe they might have made OJ stand there, but I don't think that OJ physically did it. I think he wanted to tell, but they probably put a word out, open your mouth and see what happens. It's a lot of stuff that went on behind the scenes. It's crazy. And unfortunately, it was supposed to, allegedly, it was supposed to just be a hit on her for the money, because Ronald Goldman didn't do, whatever his name is, Ronald Goldman, I think that's his name. He didn't do drugs and stuff. He took very, very good care of his
Yeah,
body.
he was a
And I
helping that. He was a
Yeah,
helping that.
and I think what happened was he met her, and he decided to walk back with her, and he got ambushed. You know what I'm saying? It was probably just supposed to be her, because she
Now,
wasn't. They said
now
that they
remember,
put.
remember, remember. Okay, remember her and her mother and her sister went to the restaurant that Goldman worked at. Okay, he was a manager at a restaurant.
I understand that.
Nicole left something. I think it was her son, something. She left something,
Sunglasses.
sunglasses,
Sun.
some very
Yeah,
expensive sunglasses. He called her and he told her he was going to bring them by there. And he just walked into an ambush.
that's what I'm saying. I believe it was just supposed to be her and not
Yeah.
him. So the way they made their mark, and a lot of stuff they withheld, but a lot of stuff was on the streets out here in Cali. They literally slit her throat and poured her tongue through her slit in her throat and his. And they didn't. I don't know if they broadcast that, but they did a Italian, what they call an Italian necktie, and they withheld those pictures because they were so graphic. And so they did ask people, where does this mark come from? And they said it has something to do allegedly with the Italian mafia. That was a hit because allegedly, and I'm saying that because I'm not trying to get sued. Allegedly, she was, and a lot of people knew that allegedly she was doing, powder and stuff. So when you start owing these people money and he telling you no, you know what I'm saying? He not gonna give you the money and you in trouble. What you think gonna happen? And
So
I
you,
believe with all my heart that he knew. I believe he knew, but I also believe he had to keep his mouth shut or he would have been next. Because if they snatch me up because you owe a debt and I say I'm not paying, I watch you get taken out and I better not open my mouth. And they even tried to blame his son because his son hated her, but they had no proof, no evidence. They tried to blame everybody. They was blaming everybody out here, and the trial happened. But even while the trial was going on, they was blaming. They even tried to say it was that white guy that lived in the back. He wasn't gonna do nothing. He was too busy trying to make it in Hollywood. He wasn't trying to mess his pretty boy self up.
mm,
You know who I'm talking about.
mm,
Yeah, he wasn't trying to mess his stuff up. That boy was too busy trying to make it in Hollywood. He was trying to hobnob with the movie stars and all that stuff. So when they asked him, how is it that you heard all this stuff when, I don't know how they said that, his story wasn't true. I don't know if he wasn't home at that time or something, but it was some way that they debunked what he said. And that's when he got quiet because they were like, no, how could you hear this and how could you hear that when I don't know what the story was. But I recorded the trial and I let somebody borrow my tape and they never gave it back.
mm,
I had it on slow record too. I was so pissed off they lost my tapes.
mm.
Yeah, but it was a lot of stories circulating around that whole thing. So
Let,
they needed a conviction, so they had to do what they had to do.
let me ask you a question. Do you think Robert Kardashian, this is a two-part question. Do you think Robert Kardashian knew the whole story? And do you think that led to him ultimately passing away? Do you think it was some foul play in Robert Kardashian passing away?
Yes, I do. I really do. I think that he got too close to some answers and they got him. I really do
What did he
because it
die
was.
of?
I don't remember what he died of, but I know that they can do whatever they want to do to you. They can make you sick. They can poison you or anything they want to do. I don't know what he died of. He died of esophageal cancer.
Yeah, they could have put something in his drink that could have
Yep.
caused that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have
Mm.
all kinds of stuff that they can put in your drink and
Cause
take
that,
you out.
yeah, 'cause that's something that comes on suddenly.
Yeah.
Esophageal cancer.
Because
That's something that comes on you suddenly.
because I've heard stories from people and that I've gotten opportunities to meet over the years, like because I got a lot of friends. I don't deal with them anymore, friends and stuff that was in Hollywood. They became part of SAG and all that stuff. They were getting all the background movie roles, and then some of them became actresses. And once you get in that life, the friends that you have, you dump them like they meant nothing. And I would hear some of the stories that they would tell me. I'm like, what? I'm like, and I never believed it until it started. It got to a place where it started coming out. But they were saying things prior to it being found out now, and I'm like, wow. They was telling people that stuff in the because we used to sit out in the yard, and they had like an old washing machine drum thing, and they started a fire, and everybody be sitting out there drinking and laughing and talking, and they would just tell their Hollywood war stories. And if I could remember some of them and wrote a book on it, I would have had me a good book. But woo, man, the stuff that I heard, I was like, they be doing that, and how are you serious? Are you serious?
Cat Williams talked a little bit about that, about them Hollywood parties and them man.
Look, I got invited to one. One of my homeboys, he had got his SAG card, and he invited us to a party up in the Hollywood Hills. And I started getting dressed. I'm like, oh, I get to go see the stars. I'm like, oh boy, I was happy. And as I was getting dressed, I had this feeling like, you better not take your black butt up there. You better not take your black butt to that party. And the feeling got so, and I'm like, you know how you try to ignore that feeling, but it overtakes you? That feeling overtook me. And I called my friend. I said, yo, I'm not going. He was like, what's wrong? I said, I don't know. I said, but I got this feeling in my stomach. Like, if I go, I'll never be the same again. And so he like, all right. So him and his Hollywood friends went. And I think I saw him a day or two later. And he was like, man, the stuff I saw at that party and the stuff that he told me, he was like, each room had a surprise for the naked eye. And he said, I hurried up and got the hell up out of there. He said he looked for his friends that he came with. He said, you gonna get left or you gonna come back with me? He said everybody had an eye full. They sat in the car. He said nobody said nothing in the car because they were so shocked at what they saw. But he said when he walked through the door, the house was so beautiful. It had the most beautiful, like it looked. Some of it looked antique. And he said, but you could tell it was very, very expensive. And he said, and when he walked into this living room, he said it was a big old table, and it was nothing but lines and lines and lines of cocaine. It was nothing but pounds and pounds of marijuana. He said I could have stuffed a backpack. And nobody would have known I took it. He said it was drinks. They were just handing out drinks back to back. He said, but with the stuff that I saw, he said, no drink would be able to clear up my thought. It's bad. And you think that Puff Daddy freak offs was bad? Honey, they was doing freak offs before Puff Daddy got freaky.
Yeah, them Hollywood parties, man. I remember Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor used to talk about those in his stand up.
Yeah, those parties are something else.
Them Hollywood parties, yeah.
They drug filled, and plus, like the women that want to get movie deals and stuff. He talked about how they treat the women, like they got to do despicable and deplorable things in order to sign a contract. And the more you go, like if I want to stay at level 1, I'll just do it once. But if I want to keep elevating, they'll keep calling me back. And when they keep calling me back, the more stuff that they can do to me, the more higher and higher and higher I could go. And I was like, nah, it ain't worth it. I don't want to do none of that. Because I'm not about to be, no thank you. People don't realize what you got to do. And that's the dude, Tony Terry, the one that saying, when I'm with you. I think that was him. He said that one of the Hollywood execs had invited him to his house, and he said it was going to be a party. It's on YouTube. And he said when he got there, it was just him. He said, where everybody at? He said, we the party. He said, no, we not either. He said, I left. and I never made another song. They
Couple
want to
of 'em,
get.
Lisa Fisher. A lot of
Hmm.
them people that were one hit wonders, they were one hit wonders for a reason.
Yeah, because they wasn't about to get a cell phone like that.
Hmm.
Yep.
Like the Meg the Stallion, man, that chick right there. It's all over TikTok. It's all out here in the news, and I don't know why it's not worldwide right now, nationwide, but it's all up in Los Angeles. They found evidence that uh, Meg the Stallion lied because there was a black girl. She had saw the whole incident went down. She stopped her car and she videoed it, and they didn't take her video serious, and she said, I saw a spark between two girls fighting. And she didn't know nothing. She just said, this is the video. She gave a video up and she had to go into hiding because she said her life got threatened. And then it was a white guy. He heard a bunch of commotion, and he said he was looking from his balcony, and he said he heard all this commotion, and he said it was two guys. One guy was struggling. He was so short, he was trying to pull them apart, and another guy came out the driver's side and was pulling them apart. And all of a sudden, once they got them apart, they started fighting again, and Megan was beating the shit out of Kelsey, and Kelsey fired on her.
Mm.
That's why Kelsey shot her, because she was getting her butt whooped. And now the driver, they found the driver. He wasn't under any NDA or anything like that. So he was talking to his wife, and his wife was like, you letting an innocent man sit in jail, how would you feel? So the driver came out and told them that um it wasn't Tory Lanez, but Tory Lanez was so high, he believed them when they said he shot, that he shot her, but he didn't. Not only that, Kelsey's uh, assistant, it was a gay man. He was her assistant. He said that he packed Kelsey's gun inside her bag. So all them people saying that this chick had a weapon and and Tori didn't. So why did you take DNA off the gun and didn't test everybody and say whose DNA was on it? Because they said it wasn't Tori's. But because Tory was so toe up, he was apologizing. He didn't know. You don't know what he snorted and shot up and smoked. I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying, if you get so toe up, somebody said you did something, you're going to believe it.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a mess out here. It's a lot of stuff that's been hidden. And, Jay-Z is famous for covering up stuff. And when they found out what happened, I don't know if they was going to go talk to Tory. And they said that's when they hit him, what is it, 14 times?
Mm.
They got him stuck him 14 times.
Who?
Tory Lanez.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they stuck him 14 times, but they said that he never ever. They talked to all the people in jail. They said he never had a problem with nobody. And all of a sudden, when this driver decides to speak up, they go and they hit Tory Lanez
Mm.
because they didn't want him to be able to tell the truth what happened. So now this makes Megan look really bad because she lied under oath.
Mm.
And that's what you ever heard of that guy named Barty or Party or something that Megan the Stallion was dating? The
Mm-mm.
rapper? Well, it was a rapper named Party or Barty or something like that. And Megan the Stallion was dating him, and she told him that she was gonna go out of the country for a photo shoot. And he said we didn't have no problem. And I'm like, okay, baby, I'll see you when you get back. He said people was like, hey, you need to check this out. The next thing you know, they see pictures of her and another dude, snuggled up. And he like, wait a minute, what the hell going on? Why she didn't say nothing to me? And so when he found out, she put out a rap to say that she caught him with another woman in their bed when he did not. And so he put out a rap. He said, Megan, we know the truth, and you trying to hide the truth. We know your conversations. We know that Tori didn't do that to you. So basically, she was pillow talking with this dude, and he told it.
Mm.
Yeah, that girl, from everything that we learning out, she's something else because she lied at first and say she didn't sleep with Tory Lanez, and then she turned around and told the truth after she lied in Gayle King's face. So how can you trust her?
Mm.
Mm, mm, mm,
What?
mm.
Yeah,
It's
it's a lot.
yeah, it's a lot goes on behind them. I won't say celebrity curtains. See what I'm saying? There's a lot
Yeah,
going on behind it, and we're not gonna know all of it. You know what I'm saying? We, as a society, we're not gonna know all of
it ain't no big deal hanging out with people that are celebrities anyway. They're just
it.
normal
No,
people with normal
hmm
jobs, but they make a lot of money. But some of them, I'm not saying all of them, but the ones that I got a chance to be around, oh, they look at you like you beneath them because they make so much money, or they want you to kiss their booty in order to do something. I'm not kissing your butt. If I'm not that hungry, I gotta kiss your butt. I'm a wolf. I ain't gotta kiss your butt. I go hunt for my own food.
But yeah, it gonna be interesting for the rest of the week in this month, especially what's
For the
going.
Diddy,
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting.
I think because see, I had a, ooh, this is crazy. I had a friend. It was a short term friendship, and
Hold on,
her,
before you finish. A short term friendship.
yeah, I'll tell you why. No, no, no. We were friends. We were friends, but it became short term because he was a lawyer for the music industry. He was a new lawyer like a couple years in, and she was married to him. And I was wondering why when he raised his voice, she would jump. I'm looking at her like, why you jumping? He don't seem like he's being mean. And so one day I'm sitting in the back seat of the car, and I don't know if he forgot or he just didn't give a rooty tooty damn. She said something to him. It wasn't rude. And he reached over and slammed her head right into the side of that daggone car window. And my eyes bucked out. And I said, "What is wrong with you?" And then I figured out that he was whipping on her and she wasn't trying to leave. I said, "I can't be your friend because if he think that I'm going to sit there and watch him keep whooping on you, and then sometimes a man will think by my silence he going to hit me, girl, he going to find some extra holes in him." So I left her alone, and she's still with him today. And she beautiful too. Beautiful. She remind me of Cassie. Beautiful, and she's so terrified of him that if he even say something, she jump. So that saying that reminds me of that's probably how Cassie felt. She was so scared that she would just say, "Oh, I love you," because he probably required her to text him and say things to him. If she didn't, she would get beat. But one of her best friends came out and said that they was at the house, and Puff Daddy came in and jumped on Cassie. So they might even call her to the stand. There's plenty of witnesses. Why you put you on mute, dog?
I had put myself on mute. I said, like we said, it's three ways the trial can go right now. Guilty, not, well, four ways: guilty, not guilty, mistrial, thrown out, or he can get found guilty of some of the charges and not all of the charges. Some
Nah, mm-mm. That man need to go down. He need to go down because if he get out, they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, we should have kept him locked up," because it's gonna be bodies dropping. and it's gonna be too late to apologize to families.
Yeah, and I look like this right here with him. He, I gotta admit, if we know who else is involved in all that stuff, he keeping the mouth closed like a good little soldier.
I think they got some surprise witnesses that he's gonna be amazed about that actually comes forward. And a lot of the stuff and see and that's why I was telling like people that had conversations like this, which I love these conversations that you're having. Look how long they kept that video hidden from that hotel when he kicked the crap out of her.
And then her or somebody sued that hotel for that.
She did. So what happened was when he beat her like that, he uh, Puff Daddy went to the hotel manager and told them to get rid of the tape and gave the manager $50,000. He also paid the police officer because I think it was someone else that heard the commotion. He paid them off so that they wouldn't say anything, but somehow that tape came back up and showed the incident, and he's trying to say that Cassie hit on him. But think about it, Gene Deal worked with him and said this was what he did. He did it to Mondo. What's her name? His baby mama name?
Kim Porter, I think. Kim Porter.
Yeah, Gene Deal said that one day he came in after Puff Daddy done beat the snot out of Kim Porter. This is get down. This is what he does. He does this kind of stuff. So Gene Deal, if they call Gene Deal to the ooh Lord, he gone. He's afraid of Gene Deal. He not gonna mess with him because the homies that he got right now, those are Gene Deal homies. Gene Deal was the one that hooked them up.
Mm.
Come
So
back up, Mondo.
he got down. Hold on,
He
let's
probably
see
had to
what.
take a phone call.
Hold on, he probably hold
You
on.
know, he's a big man and high demand.
Yeah, he said he'd be back up, but
I told you.
hey, I'm like this right here. I'm like this right here. The bottom line to it with me with this right here, I don't care which way you look at it. Like I said, she loved him at first, right? She loved him at first, then it turned into fear.
Okay, but
You could,
look, there's a such thing called love bombing. You can
yeah,
see, you gotta understand, Puff Daddy is very narcissistic. And what narcissists do is they love bomb you. They love bomb you really, really hard. And once they love bomb you and get you to a place of total manipulation and you don't know that you're being manipulated, you'll fall so deep in love with the love bombing that all of a sudden, when the honeymoon stage is over with the love bombing, then comes the torture. Then comes the I'm gonna destroy you.
yeah, and there what I said this right here. The when we was on when we was on that conference call, you were there. It was I think you know I'm telling you it's pretty early out there. It was early out there where you was at, and when they put the escort on the stand first,
Okay.
and I'm like, okay, yeah, let's say she did give him $1,000, and I don't know who gave him 6 or 5, whatever. I don't know it was her or him or both. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He six he sit and watch her have sex with men, and she sit there watch him have sex with women. And the escort said that when him and Cassie was doing it, then it was put away. Then it was doing being the director,
He was doing what?
being the director,
Oh
telling her what
yeah,
to
yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He got off on that. Yeah, he liked watching. Yeah,
So though I said set trafficking and racketeering,
yeah. That's what this case is on. You know, said it's not on domestic violence. It's on trafficking
but it came up though. You see what I'm saying? That's part of the
or trafficking.
trafficking
Yeah,
part.
Yeah.
Cause you want somebody to obey you and do what you want them to do. What you gonna do to them?
Torture 'em.
Okay, you got a dog, right? He don't pee on the floor. He don't doo in the house. What you gonna do to teach him not to do that no more? Either
Put him out the
rub it,
house. Put him out the house.
either look, either rub their nose in it, or whoop him a little bit. You see what I'm saying? So they won't do it no more. But just like you said, I put them out the house. So I look at it like this right here. This trial gonna be interesting. This is exciting. This is exciting, and I'm gonna switch gears. I don't know did y'all see what I had sent y'all in the group chat. See, can I pull it up? See, can I
I saw
pull it up?
something. I didn't pay attention. My bad.
Oh, I'm see, can I find it? I'm see, can I
Yeah,
find it?
this whole situation is really sad. Um, I feel really bad for all those people that are in trafficking because it's like you strip them down and steal their dignity, their self worth, everything. And even with Kim Porter, when Kim Porter tried to leave Puff Daddy, Gene Deal said he really put his hands on her terribly bad.
Yeah,
He hurt her so bad that he had to keep her out of public until he sent in a surgeon to fix her nose and all kinds of stuff. He said he did her really bad.
yeah. And hold on. I'm see, can I find that? Okay. I'm gonna see what you say about this. Family says woman declared brain dead, but her pregnancy continued under state law.
Good.
But here the caveat to this, right? The family of a 30-year-old Metro Atlanta mother and nurse said she was declared brain dead more than 30 days ago, but is still being kept alive because she's pregnant. As a registered nurse at Emory University Hospital was nearly 9 weeks pregnant in early February when she started experiencing a tense headache, according to her mother, April. Spears sought treatment at Northside Hospital but was released after being given medication. They gave her some medication, but they didn't do any tests, no CT scan. Her mother said if they had done that or kept her overnight, they would have caught it. It could have been prevented.
Yes.
Now her family got to go through what they got to go through, right? Which that now they don't know it's a baby going to be blind, deaf, or what. You feel what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But they going the family going to be have to want to take care of that child.
And
So
you know what? Sometimes you can count that as a blessing because if you lose someone, you have an extension of that person. You get what I'm
yeah,
saying? So you don't totally have a loss of the person because that that child's blood, the blood's gonna be flowing through that child's veins and stuff like that.
yeah.
So
And I look at this. I look at it this way right here. If that why you remember that show I did about the doctors in hospital do not care about black women. Remember the show I did about that? This is a perfect example. Let's put it in reverse. If it's other kind of woman, they should have did a cat. They should have did a CT scan to see what's really wrong. She wouldn't be in that position. And the agony and what's going on in these laws, whatever, it is what it is. But I feel for the family. I feel for the family because it wasn't a decision to make. It was the state took over. So the state is making the decision for this woman, not the family. I feel that I feel where they coming from. Cause sometimes as a family member, when you don't have a chance to make a decision, it's not in your hand. you feel some type of way. So, uh, like I said, you got to do what you got to do.
Yep. So I gotta get down because I gotta take this phone call. Hopefully Mondo come back up.
Yeah, I'm finna get ready to cut it short because I worked a long night. I worked all night Wednesday night. Just got in this morning and
Woo.
uh um I give me a call when you do that phone call. I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
I'll
I
call
tell
you
you.
tomorrow. I'll call you tomorrow because it's my mom.
Yeah, tell mom I said hey, and what I gotta tell you is about my mom though. So she so I
I'll call you tomorrow. I'll definitely
yeah.
call you tomorrow. All right.
Tell mom we all say hi and we love
I will. I'll tell her.
her. Okay,
All right. Later.
later. But yes, this has been a nice conversation here. 2 hours. Not a minute to chat, not a minute to watch. But guess what? It is what it is. I'm finna go get me something to eat. And thank y'all for coming out. Love you, love you, love you. Like I always say, love and respect yourself. Before I say that, we gonna keep up with that trial and see what's gonna go on. She for the prosecution for be redirecting with her on the stand tomorrow, which should be her last day. But hey, we shall see how long the trial lasts and see who are they gonna be called as witness and see how it goes. So keep an open mind. Keep an open mind. And always love and respect yourself. Because when you love and respect yourself, you see through all the BS. Self love is the best kind of love. Because who gonna love you better than you love yourself? Peace. I'm out.
This has been a 20 East Media Network LLC presentation. If you have not already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And please like and share this video. Thank you and have a good day.
This is The Truth, and this is 20 East Media Network LLC production. All rights reserved.